You are a man who's trying to get through this modern day life with this profound sense of loneliness. Despite the world being more socially connected than ever, you feel lonelier than ever. You spent countless hours in your own room, trapped with your own thoughts, isolated away. You've seen people out there who, with ease, connect and socialize with each other, and you wonder why you can't do the same. You're starting to feel that sting of loneliness, but you don't talk to anyone about it because what man talks about their feelings? You used to have a close network of friends, but over the years, the friendships have kind of dwindled away and only a handful remain, but even those relationships are still pretty weak. But it's not like you haven't tried. You've tried going to social events, having casual conversations with strangers, but this feeling of loneliness just persists. You sometimes see an attractive woman, but you just can't go and approach her because you have this like inner conflict inside, which you feel is just holding you back and stopping you from doing the things you want to do. Other times you're having a conversation with someone and you just reach that stage where you don't really know what to say next. So the interaction just fizzles out. And the worst thing about it is, if you don't handle this feeling of loneliness, this feeling of being more socially engaging and learning these skills, it's just gonna get worse. If anything I've said in this video so far is resonating with you and kind of hitting you in the core there, then this video is going to 100% help you. It's aimed at giving you an actionable, practical guide that you can use and get results with and actually get yourself out there, make yourself more social, and start having those interactions, those engagements with people that you actually want to have to make you more confident, to make you appear more approachable to other people. Why do I want to talk about this with you? Because I have been in your shoes as well. When I was a teenager, all the way through to my early 20s, I used to have crippling social anxiety to the point where I never wanted to leave my home because I was so worried what people would think about me. Even in an interaction, I couldn't hold eye contact. I was thinking they always thought I was stupid. My dial was basically constantly turned to negative. And I just couldn't have any sort of like social relationship with people because I was just so worried and stuck in my own head. And this sent me on like a deep dive of actually trying to improve this area. So I looked into social skills, how very social people interacted, looked at all these different books, I took courses, I looked at psychology, and over time managed to put friends together. Over time I managed to date more and more and more. And I managed to build social circles. And now, today, I'm described as like one of the most social people my friends know, which is a massive change from the guy I used to be. So I know for a fact these techniques I'm going to give you in this video are absolutely going to help you. And if you watch this video all the way from the start, all the way to the end, don't skip around because I've laid things out in a specific order. You're going to get so much out of this. You're going to be a much more social person. You're going to be able to build relationships with ease. So don't skip around. Watch it all the way through from the start to the end. Let's get started. Firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some statistics with you that will show you what you're currently experiencing with loneliness. You're not alone, and a lot of other men are experiencing it as well. So 30 years ago, 55% of men reported having at least 6 close friends. Today, only 27% of men report having 6 close friends or more. So that number is halved. 15% of men have no close friendships at all, a 5-fold increase since 1990. More than 1 in 4 men under the age of 30 reported that they have no close friends at all. 80% of successful suicides are from men, and one of the leading causes is loneliness. Think about that for a second. So those statistics speak for themselves. This is a huge problem. Now, let's move on to topic 1. Part 1, being social is a skill that you can improve, but if you aren't improving it, it's actually degrading. So think about social skills like building muscle in the gym. If you never go to the gym to never work on your muscles will never get stronger, they'll never grow bigger. And after time, they'll actually shrink as well. This is actually a very tough concept for people to get their heads around. They assume that you either have it or you don't. They don't assume that you can learn it and improve upon it. And the more you learn it, the more you stack these skills, kind of like a video game where you're leveling up, the higher level you can get to, the easier it is to interact with other people who are on a high level as well. So you wouldn't want to walk in the gym on your very first day and start trying to bench press 300 pounds because it's dangerous, it'll collapse upon you, and it just won't be good for you. It's not something possible that you would want to do. Likewise, you probably wouldn't want to walk up to the hottest ever woman you've ever seen in your life and start trying to start a conversation with her if you are just struggling with basic social skills at the moment. You must stack the skills over time and level up. I'm now an extremely social person now. However, if I'm having a few busy weeks with my online business and I don't really speak to too many people, I am rusty as hell when it comes to speaking to other people. I stumble over my words. I don't quite know what to say. I'm like stuck in my head. The same thing happens when you don't use your social skills with any person. So the best thing for you to do is to actually start socializing. So the action step for this part of the video is to start small. Open up your phone and text 3 people out of it. It can be friends you interact with on a daily basis. It can be family members. It does not matter. Start small, get the XP like you would in a video game, and try and acquire a few different levels by just trying to level up on the small, tiny things. So pause the video right now and go and do that. Text 3 people. So now you've just done that, give yourself a pat on the back because you've actually just took the first step to taking control of your social skills. Even though that was only a small step, you still leveled up from a level 1 noob in social skills to a level 2 noob in social skills. You texted 3 people and started 3 threads of conversation. Remember, we don't want to be bench pressing 300 pounds yet. We simply want to be learning how to use the weights. And even for socially skilled people, we all forget how to use the weights, right? Part 2, find out how you truly work. Are you an introvert or are you an extrovert? If you're watching this video, you probably assume you're an introvert because you don't really have that many social interactions. I used to assume I was very introverted, but really I was just crippled with social anxiety. I was actually an extrovert. The difference between an introvert and an extrovert isn't that an extrovert is way louder than an introvert and an introvert is way shyer than an extrovert. Sometimes the introvert can actually be louder than the extrovert. Sometimes the extrovert can actually be less social than the introvert. It depends on what type of energy you get from the situation. So for instance, if you go and talk with loads of people, do you feel energized afterwards? Do you go and talk with loads of different people or attempt to and you feel exhausted afterwards? That's a key sign that you're an extrovert. Do you go and speak with lots of people and you actually feel exhausted afterwards? That's a key sign that you actually might be an introvert. Here is your action step for this part. Go over to the website 16personalities.com. On this website, you can click and take a test like this. It'll ask you all these questions and it gives you something called your Myers-Briggs personality type. It also tells you whether you're more introverted or extroverted. When you're trying to work on a weakness, it's always best to know what you're dealing with. Are you an extrovert and you actually love talking to people, or are you an introvert and you more shy away from social interaction? Write it down below in the comment section. Let me know. Part 3, take care of your body and it will take care of your mind. One of the quickest and easiest ways to feel more attractive, to have a higher self-esteem, is to work out. Even if there's no physical changes to you that are visible, you'll actually feel a lot better about yourself and you'll be a lot more open to communicating with other people. Working out, whether it's going for a run, hitting the weights in the gym, or even doing some push-ups, has been scientifically proven to reduce cortisol levels in your body. And cortisol is a stress hormone that gets released when you're feeling stressed. So you will feel better about yourself when you work out. What I want you to do next is I want you to pause the video and write down over the last week how many times you've exercised. If it's a good amount, 3 to 5 times, that's okay. If it's anything less than that, you need to write down specifically how you're going to implement exercise into your daily routines. Are you going to join a gym? I highly recommend it because they're cheap now and they're everywhere as well. If you can join a gym, join one locally, that's easier to get to and it's easier to establish a routine once you have something that's close to you. If a gym's out of reach, then you need to come up with at least 3 to 5 times a week of doing some sort of workout, whether it's running, whether it is push-ups, sit-ups, squats. Look at home workouts on the internet and implement it in 3 to 5 times a week and watch how much better and higher your self-esteem gets. When you feel more attractive, you will be able to get yourself out there and socialize more. Part number 4, read How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book is one of the best social skills books in the world and still people don't know about it. It's by a guy called Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book has timeless techniques on handling people, avoiding confrontation, making people like you, making people feel like you understand them. It's an amazing book. Pause this video right now and Google How to Win Friends and Influence People book summary. Go and read a book summary, but do not get distracted. Do not get pulled off course. Read some of the principles in it and they'll sound common sense to you. But common sense in the social realm is not always common practice. I guarantee that even if you can implement some of these techniques, particularly from chapter 2 here, of 6 ways to make people like you, you can implement some of these techniques, you will be doing a lot better in your life. A few years ago, I found out that my uncle, who I hadn't spoken to since childhood, had used the rules out of this book to climb very high up in a company. He's the vice president of a global company. I hadn't spoken to him for years, so I had no idea about this. And I said, how have you managed to network your way into this position? And he said, Rob, the number 1 rule is, firstly, you must be interested in the other people you're talking to. And then secondly, you must be interesting. He says people get these the wrong way around. They think you've got to be interesting first and then be interested. No, you have to be always interested first in the other person. The only way you can display you're interested in another person is just to sit there and ask them questions. People love talking about themselves. And guess what? That helps you build up rapport with them because they feel that they're understood. Part number 5, environment is everything. We've got a quick action step coming up here, but I want you to pause this video, get a piece of paper or use your computer or whatever, and I want you to genuinely be as honest as you can with yourself and think to yourself, is the environment that I am in supportive to my needs to become less lonely? Is it actually encouraging loneliness, the environment I'm in, or is it taking away from loneliness and helping me be more social? Most people would find that they're actually in environments which is encouraging loneliness. They're finding that all of their friend group are now in relationships with people and don't speak to them anymore. They're finding that the jobs they're working are now remote work, so it takes them away from any office interaction with other people, which is a huge part of your social life, office interaction or workplace interaction. They're finding that maybe they are around friends or they've got friends either at college or at school or at university, but these friends don't really treat them very much with respect. If you sit down and are honest with yourself, and I want you to pause this video and write down what you think is going on with your environment. Do that right now, and then we'll come back to this video. Okay, great. Now you've evaluated your environment and you've probably found that your environment is not helping you at all with social skills. It's not combating that loneliness at all. Now, what we need to do is we need to reverse flip this over. We need to invert what's going on. So if you're not around people any part of the day, no wonder you're feeling lonely. We need to change this. If you aren't speaking to people on the phone, we need to change this. If you aren't messaging people, trying to start some sort of social interaction, we need to change this. You can change this in perfectly organic ways. One of the best ways to improve this area organically is to join some sort of club where there's a brotherhood, where there's a feeling of teammates. I joined a boxing club, a kickboxing club, MMA club as well. And I also go to the gym as well. And all these things over the years has allowed me to build up a social circle. I made sure as well that I worked in an office environment around other people. I didn't want to work remotely because working remotely might feel comfortable at the time, but it's really hurting your social skills. Look through your phone. Do you have people you can text and actually go out with them? Drop a message to people in your contact book, seeing if they want to meet up for a coffee. Say hi, have a little bit of back and forth with them first of all, using some of the principles out of this book. Find out what they're doing, ask them a few questions, see if they want to catch up over a coffee. If it's a guy, say, hey, do you want to hit the gym together? You've got to start small on this, and eventually you will level up and be able to do them 300 pounds we're talking about. If you've watched this far in this video, I am very grateful, and you should be very, very proud of yourself because you've recognized there's a problem and now you're taking steps to fix that problem, and you know it's fixable, right? So if you haven't taken the action steps out of this video, go back and watch them. Truly, truly, truly believe that these steps will absolutely help you. Starting small, go into the gym, learning how to interact with people, get in the right environment that's actually helpful for building up social bonds with people. You are going to be able to improve this area of your life, and you're going to be able to come out on top as well and be 10 times better than what you currently are at the moment. Truly hope this video has helped you. If you want something that's a bit more specific and tailored to you though, feel free to reach out to me. We can do some social skills training. If you just want to see the videos, I'm going to be making a lot of different videos which is going to help you handle communication, battle loneliness, help you improve your social skills, and they're all going to be on this channel here. So subscribe to the channel so you see more content like this. Take care. See you in a future video.